Now we are going to head into Champion Select once again because of the Galio placeholder pick, but once again, Spuddington, is there one of these two teams that you could see coming out ahead in that laning phase just based on compositions?
In the laning phase, it's a pretty much a guarantee, I believe at this point, that Cloud9 are going to come out on top of it. I mean, they've got a slightly weaker early jungler in the form of Kha'Zix, but he's being played by Ku, so I'm going to expect great things from him. They've also got a dominant top lane matchup, a dominant bot lane matchup, and a mid lane matchup that'll do them decently well. So, yeah, I'm thinking C9EU are going to come out of the laning phase with some level of advantage. What level of advantage they come out with, however, is likely to determine the exact nature of this entire game, though, because if Cloud9 EU come into this and they go 6-7k up in the laning phase, the game is practically over at that point, because there is nothing you can do against a team that scales that hard and that is going to be that strong in a siege situation. So if Tickets can do some magic work with their Evelyn and keep it to a 1k, 2k advantage for C9EU, or even somehow magically turn it around to an advantage for them, then I'm going to be really, really impressed.
Alright, so we do have both of our compositions here, as we will be heading on towards the Rift very, very shortly. But before we do that, we should tell you about Esports Venture, our generous sponsor. Just type !bet in chat and you will be given all that you need to start betting on League of Legends, StarCraft 2 and CSGO games. But without further ado, this game is starting in just about 3 minutes, so stay tuned, because once again, you don't want to miss this whatsoever.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Departed versus C9EU. I may have to cut this a little short because Oduamne has spotted a little bit of a level 1 fight, but there's nothing going to kick off, so it's fine. I am Spuddington, joined today by Nature. This is the grand final, the best of 5 between C9EU and Departed, and we are underway.
Yeah, so the Departed showing some early aggression here. They really want a foothold in that Cloud9 EU jungle. But in the end, it seems like that they are just going to back off. Kikis, with his invisibility, is just going to stay in there because he's not going to get spotted out as long as he keeps a safe distance. On the other side, Cloud9 reacting by throwing Voido or putting Voido and Hjarnan in the Departed jungle. And they might be looking to steal their red buff. Ooh, Perm could be walking into trouble here. He does decide to take a right turn early, so he's going to be fine.
This is very clever by Cloud9 here, though. An awful lot of this game is going to depend on Evelyn's performance, because as I mentioned in Champion Select, this is essentially a game where Departed have set themselves up to lose the laning phase, and not well. They're going to be in a serious trouble if this is left to straight 1-on-1s and straight 2-on-2s. Now, if you steal an enemy buff, you then can basically always infer where the enemy jungler is going to go and where they've gone. So they're going to know that Kikis will either turn up at that red buff and not achieve, and hence have to spend a lot more time farming his jungle to hit level 3, or he'll have to go to steal the enemy red buff, which means they know exactly where he is at all times, which obviously therefore means that he is much less capable of surprising them. And that does mean, obviously, therefore, he's going to have a less easy time making ganks happen and a less easy time making this game work in their favor.
Okay, so Oduamne getting poked out in that top lane. Woolite and Perm switching up the lanes and making sure Oduamne doesn't quite get the experience and the gold he needs to start rolling in this game. Same goes for that bottom lane, of course, where Kikis, or Babunia rather, who is their top laner, or their bottom laner in this case, is not going to get a whole lot of experience because Hjarnan and Voido will keep zoning him all day long. Woolite and Perm are well, doing a good job in freezing this lane, and Oduamne really doesn't have a whole lot of resources to resort to if he wants to get the experience that he needs, because I don't think he can actually take on the golems at this point, but it seems like that he was just waiting for Ku to share the experience of the red buff.
Yeah, you can see both the bot laners are farming to build up a big wave here. They're freezing the lane, and they're going to be able to build up big waves as a result. I'm actually a little bit surprised, however, to see that both of the junglers here have elected to defend their own top laner. What you would typically expect to see with a Kha'Zix jungle and with an Evelyn jungle is a dive on the top laner, because both Ryze and Mundo are very weak early on in terms of their ability to survive a dive. And that obviously therefore means that you can potentially get that early kill, take the tower, and snowball down and down and down. But it seems like because they both, it's a predictable move for both of them to do that, neither of them have actually opted to do it. And that's going to mean that they're just going to spend a lot of time defending these towers, which neither of these two junglers is particularly good at.
In that top lane, a lot of action going on. Ku jumps on towards Woolite. Woolite has the Ignite taking on himself. Perm now forming that front line for Woolite, but that is going to put him in a lot of pressure, under a lot of pressure, as Ku jumps on him as well. He's going to survive, however, so Woolite and Perm will live to see another day, but they are having some trouble dealing with Ku and Oduamne here. Woolite right now taking some more poke, and Ku stops his recall, so he might fancy his chances in, well, giving this gank another go.
They have used both of their flashes already, and Woolite still has his, though. So any kind of aggression here would be quite risky, but if they can get it, they will kill.
Woolite being first to flash. Oduamne, in the end, didn't quite get enough damage down to make sure Woolite did go down. Woolite was forced to back away in the end, so he will be returning towards his base, and that leaves Perm in that top lane undefended and all alone. He does have the turret, of course, so it seems like he's going to be fine.
However, if you check the bottom turret right now, Kiernan and Voidal have already almost taken that tower down, and there's barely anything done by Vayne for the top. So this is going to give C9 a big pushing advantage, and I've got to say, I'm not convinced by the choice to not go for a dive or not go for that early push, because Mundo is very bad at defending towers, and Caitlyn Nami was always going to be much stronger when it came to pushing down towers. So does seem like C9 EU have taken an early advantage, which is kind of what we expected. The question now is, will Departed be able to stem the flood? What are they going to do about this inner tower push if Kiernan and Voidal keep pushing?
For now, it seems that Yarnan and Voidal are going to stop pushing and head over towards that dragon. Which would make sense. Of course, the dragon isn't worth as much as it used to be, but it is still worth quite a lot of money. So they are going to take that one down, and that is going to give them the timer as well. Kick is right there. May have been looking to steal that one, but that would have put him in a really dangerous situation. So he just backs on off, and Cloud9 take the very first dragon of the game.
Hard to outsmite a Kha'Zix, and it would have been guaranteed death for Evelyn to jump in there. So not surprised to see he didn't go for that. Right now, though, Oduamne has actually going. This is farming strats right here, but he actually got bound, so that could have been really bad. But the dragon time has kind of equalized between the two teams, the tower race. So as a result, I'm actually almost not even sure if that dragon was worth it. It's definitely still advantage C9.
Uku looking for a gank here, but here is the teleport. This could be bad for them. Babunia teleports in, takes too much damage for himself, and here is Yarn. And first blood does go over to Babunia in the end, but he is going to pay the price. Ku now being forced out there as well. Here's Voidal to help his team out. Yarnan will be picking up that kill, but here is Kikis to join the party. Picks himself up one kill. NIQ joins the party as well. Kikis runs into Fabivan, is forced to flash in the end. Fabivan doesn't have a lot of mana, and NIQ is here to back up Kikis. Kikis taking too much damage, goes down in the end. Fabivan, as I should call him, goes down. NIQ still being chased here by Yarnan, and Yarnan is going to pick him up, or is he? Yes, he is. Piltover Peacemaker comes out, and that is going to set the kill score 2-4 here for Cloud9.
Cloud9 coming out on top, but it was a very messy fight there. And right now, it's definitely all going Cloud9's way. They're going to have an opportunity now to put some decent damage down on this top lane. The extra damage reduction for the first 8 minutes just went down. And with the BF sword on Hjernan, he's going to stay in, I suspect, and keep Woolite poked down. In fact, they've got 3 men here. Can Woolite survive the dive?
Perm is there at the exact right moment. Dark Shield or Black Shield comes on him. Very good. Woolite uses the shield on himself, and Yarnan right now being chased down. Shot down coming in for Perm using the Soul Shackles, which will be enough to finish off Yarnan. So another 2 kills coming in here. One goes towards Perm, not ideal, but at least they managed to pick up the kill.
A very messy dive from Cloud9 there. They didn't expect Perm to come in at the end there, and they get the kill. But Babunia is in trouble.
Yeah, Ku jumps on towards him. Ignite is taking. He's not going to be able to heal himself up with the ultimate, and Ku gifts that kill over towards Oduamne, who has reached level 6 at the exact right moment to make that gank happen as well, putting out a lot more damage with the desperate power than he would have.
I'm a little bit surprised right now. Ku doesn't appear to have gone for the active... Oh wait, no, he has gone for the active camouflage evolution. I think it's just not displaying the graphic on my screen, so that was just a little bit confusing for me. I was thinking he'd gone claws or something. But right now, does seem like C9 EU have actually only built up a small advantage, and Fabivan is in trouble.
Well, this could be bad for Fabivan. NIQ might be going down here as well. Kikis diving a little bit too deep. Fabivan, is he going to be able to do this? Yes, he is. Kikis goes down. And that was a little bit too messy here for the Departed.
Yeah, and now Ku is going for Babunia again.
Oh, Babunia under his turret goes down. Ku picking up that kill. Perm looking to turn this one around. Woolite with the ultimate. Just one hit will do it. And he picks up the kill on towards Ku. Maybe they are looking to chase down Oduona, but it seems like he is a little bit too far away.
D9 need to be really careful. Vayne is starting to pick up an awful lot of kills and get quite a good amount of farm here. And there's just poorly executed dives across the board right now. So maybe that's why they didn't choose to go for that in the first case. So Nidalee picking up 2 kills. Vayne picking up 2 kills. That gives both of these teams really strong tools to start turning this game in their favor. But there's another fight in the mid lane.
Yeah, Voido getting caught with the shoal shackles goes down. Perm right now might be getting turned upon by Febiven, but Febiven is all alone, so he's not going to try his hand at this one. But NIQ and Kikis are just going to back on off and defend that middle lane turret.
Okay, so with Nidalee getting fed, obviously C9EU now really want to start sieging towers down, because if they can get pushed up to a tower as 5, keep their opponents trapped there at the tower as 5, and start with the poke war, they will come out on top as a result. But with Vayne starting to get fed and picking up another kill now, almost certainly on Odoamne, she's going to be able to split push something fierce, and NIQ is so in trouble right now and he doesn't know it.
Ku waiting in the wing for the perfect moment, or probably just for the wave to arrive. There's the javelin on towards him, does get the explosive cask out, but it's not going to be enough to save him, and it's not going to be enough to save that turret as Febiven takes that one down. Kikis did arrive a little bit too late for that. Ku and Febiven might be actually looking to pick a kill here on towards Kikis.
If he walks into that brush, he's going to be in a lot of trouble, and even the safe route is predicted here. Ku is going to see him. They're going to jump this.
Oh, there they go. Kikis uses the Agni's Embrace. That is going to give him that shield. Is it going to be enough? Desperately trying to juke everything out that is being thrown at him, and he does go down in the end. But here is Woolite to clean house. Febiven taking a little bit too much damage. Double kill comes in for Woolite, and that is going to put the kills at 9-9 with a slight gold lead for the Departed.
Oh God is really the words right now, because only God can save you from a 5-1 Vayne with 90 CS, second highest CS in the game at 12 minutes. So that is an incredibly powerful Vayne. If they get into a team fight, if they get into a skirmish and they do not almost instantly burst out Vayne, he is going to kill everybody. Dragon is up right now and Woolite hasn't actually shot. So if you are going to pick a fight now as Cloud9, this is actually the only time you can really do it for a while now. They're going to have to play defensive as soon as Woolite has shot. They can still play the split push game. They've still got strong potential pushing from Odoamne, and they've still got good ability to survive sieges thanks to their heals. But they cannot afford to get into a fight with Vayne right now. They're going to have to wait till their own carries have started to catch up a bit.
And Woolite hasn't decided to back off just yet. He is sitting on almost 3,000 gold, which is a whole lot of gold. But now NIQ could be finding himself in trouble. Ku uses the Void Assault, doesn't quite manage to land the leap, and he does find Kikis. Kikis takes a little bit too much damage for his liking as well. Barrow comes out. Kikis barely manages to dodge a javelin, and there is Ku getting caught by Babunia, who is forming a very beefy front line. Does manage to get Ku right now. He needs to get out, and he manages to do so. 10-9 here for the Departed, who did get themselves a good pick.
Ku is feeling a little bit confident right now, and I'm not entirely sure it's warranted for him. He's nearly obviously did get the kill, and if Febiven had landed the spear, he would have done, but he chose that fight, lacking the knowledge of where two people who were close by actually were. So maybe it was just like an, I think this will probably work out, and I'm Kha'Zix, so I might well be able to slip out even if this isn't a good situation, sort of a play. But it didn't work out too well for them in the end, and C9EU can't afford to fall too far behind in this game. They are very much reliant on pushing their opponents back with their siege. If people start getting too many kills and start getting, Babunia too tanky and too much regen for Nidalee to poke out, they're going to have serious problems dealing with it.
For now, Febiven and Odoamne might be looking for a pick in that middle lane once again. Javelins thrown out there. Once again and again, as Kikis is just clearing out some of those wraiths, and Odoamne is being very patient, but here he goes. Could be looking for the kill on towards NIQ, and that is a little bit anticlimactic.
Yeah, that timing is, that's not good. I'm actually not sure. If you're paused as a player right now, so as NIQ, I wonder if you can see Rise, because
He can.
He can see Rise right now, so he's going to notice that in the timer where he may not have done before. So if we can get an eye on that in the very first sort of instant of what's going on here, it'll be interesting to see how he reacts, because he may well be able to pull some sort of play like he planned it out pretty quickly. Like, for instance, he might be able to body slam towards the Wraith camp and flash over the wall. Might be a very tricky angle, though, so we'll see what he does.
We will see indeed. As for now, for those of you who haven't noticed, we are into a quick pause because Perm is having some internet issues. He will be back as soon as he can, of course, as the Departed might really want him in this game. They do have a 2,000 gold lead and a 1 kill lead. They are 1 turret behind, but it seems like they are quite okay with that because, well, they don't have a definite lead here just yet, but they are doing quite well for themselves, with Woolite picking up a lot of kills, 5 to be exact, which is probably going to hurt Cloud9 if they let this game go on for too long.
Yeah, it's a question now of how Departed apply the very, very dangerous Vayne that they have versus how Cloud9 avoid having to deal with that problem. Because there are sort of 2 scenarios, really, that you can see like at the extremes of how this could work out. If Departed get exactly what they want, they'll get like Mundo teleporting into a fight that C9 have picked and slowing them all down, and Vayne will clean them all up because they'll be crowd controlled by Morgana and Agony's Embrace and all these sorts of things, and Vayne will just destroy them all. The optimal situation for C9, however, going the other way around, is where Vayne is either not getting a fight at all and is forced to try and siege down a tower and gets poked out or caught with a bubble where she's in the wrong place, or where she's just poked out before a fight even begins, with C9 kind of kiting them backwards, because C9 do have a very, very good kite composition here. They can move away as Departed are trying to seek and engage, using the bubble, using the tidal wave, using the Caitlyn traps, the nets, the jumps, everything that they've got to just keep them away and slowly chip them down. So it's all going to come down to how the fights start, and I think a lot of that is going to come down to whether Kikis can find himself a good flank, and whether Babunia can apply enough split pushing pressure to force C9 into a fight.
So I was thinking about this situation that NIQ is in right now. He might actually be able, I'm just theory crafting here, but could be all like gibberish what I'm trying to say here, but he might actually be able to burst down Febiven if he gets enough skills down on him, and if Febiven doesn't quite manage to dodge anything. And then Babunia could teleport in and help him out with dealing with Oduamne, but that could of course be very tricky because Ku is quite close as well, but so is Kikis, so it could be a very, very messy fight here.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one right now, because for Bivin, I actually can't see on my screen whether he's in Cougar form or not.
He is.
He is in Cougar form. Okay, so it's going to be relatively easy for him at least to try and dodge out a skill just by using that pounce. But the flip side of that is that if he wants to try and just tank as much damage as possible, he'd be best served by switching to human form and using the heal. He does have his barrier available, so I really don't think that NIQ is going to be able to burst him out, especially considering he actually doesn't have his explosive cask for another 8 seconds. So he'd have to survive and then somehow burst him down.
Yeah.
So I don't really see NIQ getting out of this situation with a kill. It's possible, maybe, if he's able to somehow keep himself alive for that long, but I wouldn't bet on it. His best bet is to try and body slam away, try and meet up with Kikis, and then seek the 2-on-2 like that. But we will be seeing. I'm not holding out much hope for his survival with Oduamne close and with Flash and with his ultimate for the movement speed.
Well, we should be finding out what is going to happen here very, very shortly because Perm has reconnected. So let's hope that this game continues ASAP. As for now, NIQ for as in a quick recap, NIQ could be in a very, very much trouble. Oduamna closing on him, Febiven very close. Kikis might be there to help him. We are just going to find this one out in around 1 second. NIQ getting jumped on by Febiven. There's a flash coming out of Oduamna, flash coming out of NIQ as well. Does catch a javelin on his back, and he makes it out alive. That was not too much for what I was expecting to happen.
But you can see that both the teams there had actually definitely planned out exactly what they were going to do, because Oduamne ran straight, it flashed immediately. Mundo started teleporting almost instantly and actually ended up cancelling it. And NIQ did exactly what I said. He body slammed and then flashed over the Wraith camp without even half a second's hesitation, because everyone had spotted what was coming and everyone thought, right, I've got to do something about this situation. So they planned out their moves, and we don't have any rules against that. It's not technically allowed, I think, to pause, but to pause just for the sake of planning. And I don't think these players would normally want to do that, but Perm genuinely disconnected at the worst possible moment there.
Well, in the end, no one really got any lead because of that, so it's all fine. As everyone is being very, very cautious for now. Febiven making sure he doesn't get hit by anything NIQ throws at him. Same goes for NIQ, of course, because you don't want to get hit by any of those javelins. In that bottom lane, however, Woolite with the red buff alongside Perm is pushing out that lane. They are trying to put some damage down on that turret, but of course those waves get cleared out by Yarnan pretty quickly, because those Piltover Peacemakers are starting to hurt.
I've got to say, what I'd like to see from Departed right now is to group up and start trying to get some vision control in the enemy jungle, because they know they've got the dominant team fight. They know they've got the Vayne right now, and that makes them very, very scary. That means they can probably get that vision control if they wanted. And once they have that vision control, it makes it much easier to get picks. But Oduamne is in trouble again.
Well, there's the Agony's Embrace on towards him, gets a good slow, uses the Rune Prison on Kikis to make sure that the huge damage threat doesn't get too close. But here is Kikis nonetheless. Down goes Oduamna. Babunia can tank up that tower for ages, and they get themselves another kill.
And that's created a nice little gap, because now you can see, look, Babunia and Kikis moving towards the mid lane. They're going to find Febiven.
Oh, Febiven making sure he doesn't get too close, but Kikis is very, very quick. Febiven reaches the safety of his turret in that bottom lane. Perm picking up the support. Yarnan right now in all kinds of trouble. Uses the barrier, uses the Piltover Peacemakers. Not enough, as Ulai did have another barrier in his back pocket, and he pulls that one out to save himself in that fight and pick up another kill in that bottom lane.
Departed really taking control of the game, but Ku's trying for the kill.
Oh, using the Void Assault. There's a Black Shield on towards Woolite, as well as the Tormented Soil coming out of Perm. Woolite making sure he doesn't get too close to Ku. Ku flashing for a flash coming out of Woolite, and he is godlike by picking up Ku.
Good play. I mean, I can understand why Ku went for that play. It was a high risk, potentially high reward play. Had he gotten the shutdown there, that would have changed the fortunes of his whole team quite significantly, because right now Cloud9 are being pushed back on their heels. They're losing objectives. They're losing kills. They are losing control. Getting that kill could have reversed that trend. But as it is, it's actually just made the problem slightly worse. And now Departed is really far ahead. The next dragon comes up in 40 seconds, and they've got plenty of time to set up for it. I'd be surprised to see Kikis staying in the top lane for all that time, and Babunia will have his TP available for it.
He will indeed, as Perm in that bottom lane, just recalling, he's sitting on 1,600 gold, picks himself up the Frost Queen's claim, some extra ability power, mana regeneration, and of course the gold per second, always nice if you are a support. And in that middle lane, NIQ facing off against both Yarnan and Voidal might be having some trouble, as Yarnan spots out Babunia coming in there. Javelin connects, so Babunia might just want to be careful here. One more shot will do it, but he pops out the sadism and he will be just fine. In the meantime, however, Ku started off this dragon.
Now, can they get Woolite in position to start this fight in the right place? He's chasing down Febiven, unable to get the tumble over the wall. And the Cleaver steals the Baron, Dragon. Oh, God, if it was Baron, it'd be even worse. But as it happens, that's just a failed smite by Ku.
Wow, didn't expect that one to happen. Bunya throwing in the cleaver to steal the dragon, which is going to set them ahead for around 5,000 gold, a little bit more than that, so they are definitely going to be happy with that. Kikis making sure the blue buff goes over to NIQ, and they might actually be looking to pressure that Cloud9 team after this a little bit more, because everyone can go back and shop at this point. Woolite for himself sitting on around 1,000 gold, looking to pressure that bottom turret a little more. He's not going to overextend at this point, and he will probably just pick up some jungle camps and back on off to make sure he gets the items he needs.
One thing I must say right now is Departed aren't doing too much to close out this game right now. They're building up their advantage. They are increasing their gold advantage significantly. Indeed, they're now up to about 6,000 gold, which is very, very big at this stage of the game. But they're not doing much sieging right now. Their split pushing is only leading to picks. They're not really getting this game completely under their control. And I've got to say, I think it's actually a significant amount of a threat from Nidalee that's stopping them from getting the vision control over the enemy jungle. Now, Babunia, is this bait?
Ku comes in here. He has a lot of damage. Kikis might be looking to turn this one around on towards Odoamne. Odoamne being forced to flash. Kikis is still chasing on towards him. Does manage to pick up the kill. Babunia takes an ace in the hole to the back side, and he goes down in the end. Yarnan taking that kill home, but right now Kikis could be in trouble. He really needs to get out of this one alive. Febiven still chasing Kikis in towards that Cloud9 base. Is he going to make this one out alive? Febiven still chasing, as is Yarnan and Voidal. Kikis, ooh, I don't see him coming out of this one alive as he makes a run for it. Javelin would have connected anyhow, and Woolite in the meantime did manage to pick up a turret in the bottom lane, I believe.
Yeah, Kikis was absolutely okay with dying there. He was basically doing what Darien does there. He drew almost the entire team of Cloud9 EU on a round-the-world tour, and then essentially, while all that was going on, his team were slowly, without much ceremony, taking away that inner tower. So they come out with the gold advantage, and there's nothing on the map that C9 EU can take in revenge. They're not strong enough to go for Baron, which is the only real objective they can push. They had no minions to go for towers, so yeah, well worth it in pretty much all respects there. And Departed increase their lead and crucially get a bit more map control. But you can see still C9 are well aware that they must keep the vision going. They've got a lot of wards around that lower jungle.
Okay, so 22 minutes in, 6,000 gold lead that the Departed has at this point. Starting to be quite a lot, make that 7,000 almost, by the way. As last game around, when Cloud9 won, they didn't have too much of a gold lead. In the end, they probably had some... some form of gold lead, but it wasn't as much as a 6,000 gold lead, so the Departed could really be looking to close this game out convincingly, but they need Babunia to stay alive in that one. Ku still chasing, but you're not going to kill Mundo.
And this is why Mundo was a popular pick for quite a while. It's because he becomes a very, very obnoxious late game split pusher. He is almost literally unkillable. You cannot stop him from applying the map pressure, and because he has that teleport as well, he can always be present in the team fights and be a very strong and frustrating and difficult to deal with frontliner for your team. So Odoamne is going to spend a lot of his time up the top lane, and because he's been so delayed and been killed so often, he's not going to be able to force Mundo to try and split push in some other lane for a very, very long time himself.
Cloud9 clearing out their jungle of the enemy wards, as Perm is well, making sure he doesn't get hit by those javelins. He was sneaking in there, maybe trying to sneak in some extra wards. As for now, Kikis and NIQ are doing, well, much of the same, making sure that they are on wards where they don't want them. And in that top lane, Babunia in trouble, Ku chasing, and this time around Babunia does go down. Ku takes home that kill, and that could be good for them, but they really need to rejoin their team if they're going to give it a fight at this point.
I had to say he was almost literally unkillable, didn't I? As it happens, turns out he's not almost literally unkillable. Okay, no, he's almost literally unkillable, but in the event where he's already lost about a third of his health before the fight happens, He's isolated from the minions, so Ku can get maximum damage potential, and Odoamne has his Ignite to cut his regen. He is killable. The next time he comes back, though, Odoamne is not going to have his Ignite, so it's very unlikely they'll be able to kill him then. But for all this sort of pressure he's putting down and all the ganks he's drawing, he's not actually achieving all that much for his team because they're not taking many objectives right now. Woolite is keeping his farm very high, but so's Caitlyn. She's 5-2 now. She's looking pretty strong as well.
In the end, NIQ right now getting that blue buff, making sure they don't waste any resources as they respawn in their jungle. Cloud9 just getting some members of their team to recall. Well, mainly Febiven, who just buys himself a Rabadon's Death Cap on his way back, so his spears are going to hurt if they did not already. Kikis making sure he doesn't get caught here by Odoamne, as Odoamne was getting very, very close. The dragon has respawned, so this could be a fight right here, as we do have Babunia still split pushing in that top lane.
Ku has to watch himself here. He actually started off the dragon there. He can rush that down reasonably quickly, but if he gets zoned off from the rest of the team, it'll be a problem. But he can burst that down quick.
Oh, but NIQ is not going to have anything of it. Dragon goes over to the Departed, and right now Babunia forming a very, very beefy front line once again. Really is trying to get close to Yarnan, and here is Perm, doesn't quite manage to land the Dark Binding, does manage to land the Soul Shackles, or does he on Voidal as he is forced out of it. Woolite picking up 1 kill on towards Febiven, as he isn't done here just yet. Now getting close towards Voidal, looking for that double kill, doesn't quite manage to get it as Voidal did flash out in the end. Odoamne and Ku really need to get out of this one. Voidal 1 versus 2. Is he going to be able to pick up Yarnan? Seems like it as the red buff is ticking. Doesn't quite manage to do it, but he does manage to pick up another kill here on towards Odoamne. That is going to give him that double kill, and that is going to give them a very, very easy time in that bottom lane.
Departed get the dragon, Departed get more kills, and they actually made a bad job of chasing that down. Like, Perm flashed and missed his binding. I believe Babunia missed a crucial cleaver on Caitlyn as well. And yet, because Woolite is Vayne, and because Vayne is so fed, it doesn't matter. He can chase them down. If they get into a team fight, they will come out on top. And I now have a Grievous Wounds symbol on her permanently, which is a little bit strange, and I thought they'd fix that bug about 6 months ago, but it's back, and what do we do without that old friend? And actually now, Cloud9 going for a sneak Baron here. Kiernan is going to have to tank this at some point, but there's no vision here, and this play, if it works out, could completely turn the game around for Cloud9.
And it doesn't seem like the Departed are actually going to sniff this one out. Febiven closing in on towards that Baron as well. He's going to put out the last damage that it needs, and there you have it. Cloud9 sneaking a very sneaky Baron, and that might just be what they need to get back in this game.
That is so clever because it was a very low risk play. All of the players that were in the Baron pit could jump out if they needed to. They swept before starting, and they knew. And I don't know if Departed even have a timer on that Baron. I think they're actually just about to go and check it because they think, oh my god, we haven't seen them in ages. They could be right. Well, we've still got a very fed Vayne though, so we'll see if this really does change Cloud9's fortunes or whether it's just delaying the inevitable.
Well, it could start, as you said, to stretch this game out, because at this point, I would imagine that the Departed don't want to fight Cloud9 with the Baron buff, as they could just be waiting for that to time out and then start to try and force some fights. But once again, as you said, Cloud9 right now are looking to be a little bit more of a threat than they were earlier, and they are looking to siege that middle lane. Woolite is there, Kikis is there alongside NIQ and Perm, so I don't think they're going to have a very easy time sieging that middle lane.
It's going to be difficult for them. The Banshee's Veil is now in Woolite, so it's not going to be easy to take her out of the fight completely. But if at any time Cloud9 are going to come out well in this game, this is that time. They've got Baron buff, they've got a massive regen and healing advantage, and they've got them in the position they want. They're in a 5-man group, and they're sieging an enemy tower right now. So Cloud9, as long as they keep the poke going, they can push down the tower.
Ooh, Ku putting on the pressure does get the Banshee's Veil off of Woolite, so they could be looking to burst Woolite at this point, and IQ did catch a Javelin, so he did lose 60% of his health, or something like that, as Cloud9 aren't done sieging here just yet. Woolite just dodging out that Javelin right there. Ku looking for maybe a pick around from the side, as he does get caught by the Dark Binding. They are not going to try and kill him, however, because he was over the wall, so they would not have been able to put enough damage down. Herm catching a Javelin, but luckily he does have a black shield.
Yes, indeed. Now, I'm actually a little curious. Are they going to try and completely wait out the Baron? They've got about maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes to go, and it actually looks like Cloud9 are going to give up on the push for now. Go and steal the blue, which does give a chance to heal up for their opponents. But are they going to just try and wait out the Baron buff and then look for a flank with Kikis? Or will they actually try, Departed here, to sneak around and see if they can actually get on the group of them and maybe lock down the Nidalee or the Caitlyn, and then look for an engage if they can see the opportunity, because now Kikis, they don't know where he is, and Departed can't afford to get aggressive so long as they don't know where Eve is. They did just spot her for a sec there, though.
Yeah, so they are just going to know where he is, and he will reveal himself at this point. Ooh, Voidal almost... Oh, he did actually get caught with the bubble, but luckily his Banshee's Veil he had regained his Banshee's Veil at that point. For now, Cloud9 still strangling the Departed of their resources, but the Departed are still ahead in gold. So they could maybe try and win a team fight. There's the Agnes Embrace, and Kikis now getting focused with everything as Febivan dives in. He goes down to Kikis. Babunia right now once again forming that front line. Ku being first to flash, using that Void Assault defensively to get out, but Flash coming out of Babunia to get the slow. Dark Binding not quite connected, but here is Woolite for the chase. Oduan is not going to be able to survive that one. The true damage coming out of Woolite is insane at this point. Ace No comes out, gets blocked out by Kikis. Good guy Kikis, almost dying for it, by the way. But that was a huge team fight for the Departed, and Cloud9 really had no answer for Woolite.
You could see C9 were desperate there, though. They were trying really hard to finally get some damage down on the tower to make use of their Baron buff. And they knew as well that Woolite had gone down to bottom lane, so they thought, we've got, if now or never, basically, go for the 4-on-5 fight. We've still got that last couple of seconds of the Baron fight. But they knew that that was coming. Departed got the Agony's Embrace. They got the Explosive Cast on Forbiven. And Forbiven, Nidalee, not that strong in a straight-up team fight. So as a result, they ended up losing it overall. They've lost that Baron buff now. They've lost that advantage they gained. And I really don't think Departed will be negligent on the Baron pit again. I really, really don't like Cloud9's chances anymore.
No, and that is going to set them back even more in gold. Almost 10,000, even more than 10,000 gold at this point. Woolite still keeps farming. He just needs one more item and then he is full. He has completed his build. 300 farm. He is around 30 farm ahead of his counterpart Hjarnan. And he is once again a very, very scary person to face off against, as that Baron will respawn in another minute and a half. And well, as you said, this could be bad for Cloud9 if they don't manage to get that Baron, or if the Departed just manage to sneak that one out.
As if we fast forward and somehow Cloud9 in 20 minutes time are able to just completely turtle it out and no real advantages are gained in that time by Departed, and everyone starts hitting item caps, it's gonna be a little bit more even than it would have been than it is at this stage of the game. But even if it does go that long, Cloud9 are still going to be in a weaker position. They're going to try and catch out Woolite here. I don't think this is going to work.
Ooh, Ace No gets blocked out by his good guy support. Here comes
TP.
the teleport of Babunia, and Oduamne just gets deleted by Woolite. He does use the Disparate Power. It's not going to be enough. However, Bubble does connect on towards Woolite. He really needs to get out, but it is going to be a double kill for him. Ignite is ticking, and he manages to survive somehow. Now Kick is forming that front line. Herm goes down, double bubble coming in. It is going to be a double kill, as in the end, we do see Woolite going down, triple kill coming in there for Hjarnan. But in the end, they did get aced, as Woolite did pick up the triple kill, and that is going to be a turret at least here for the Departed.
Yeah, the fortunate thing there for Cloud9 was they got a bubble onto Woolite. That was really, really good. It's a 1.5 second, I think, stun that keeps her out of the fight for a long, long time. And they were able to then focus her down with Ku, with the rest of them diving in. But even with that, the fact she'd done a bit of damage early and the fact that they were putting so much focus on and hence ignoring the other damage threats meant they ended up falling behind. The inhib has gone down now, Baron is up, and I'm expecting Departed will recall, get vision control, then take it, because I really don't see C9 stopping them from doing that short of some really fantastic middly spears.
C9 could, in theory, try and rush the Baron down. Don't see it happening, however. They are all heading over towards that Baron area to make sure that it doesn't go down unnoticed for them. Perm now spotting out Voidal and Ku. Voidal just clearing out that ward in the process, and Ku will just be clearing out that pink ward that they had just thrown in there. And this is a very, very desperate move coming out of Cloud9 here, as they are desperately trying to rush down this Baron. But here comes a tidal wave on towards NIQ. Kick is going in there. He does manage to get the Baron. Ku right now looking to retaliate. Voidal has gone down, and so has Oduamne. Ku is now looking to be the next target here of Kikis. Double kill coming in for Kikis already. Triple kill is what it is going to be. And Voidal right now looking for his new target, Hjarnan. Febiven desperately trying to run out there, doesn't quite get slowed, and well, Febiven looking to turn this one around, but it's not going to be enough. Ace comes in, surrender vote comes out, and it is going to be game 2 going over to the Departed.
A really, really well played game by Departed there. A few early dives by Cloud9 though were what got Woolite to be that fed, and that was what really, really made the game impossible for Cloud9. That play at the end, going for the Baron, was actually completely correct. I really like the fact C9 went for that, because it was a high risk play again, but it was really their only hope for trying to do anything. They predicted, they